So now you're ready to start your drawing. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do some of it here just so you can see a lot of us have a pencil or a crayon. So I'm going to show you some key tips to help you draw those as realistically as possible and a few extra tips along the way. So I'm going to show you what I have. So here is my printout, which I folded in half, and I have my quadrant grids. And here's my actual paper. So what I've done is just drawn the paper a little bit. I don't know if you can kind of see my line here and down, and my line here, and this kind of crisscrossy line that I have for the paper here. Okay, so now I'm going to start drawing the crayon. So my crayon is in my bottom left-hand side from where I'm sitting. So it's going to be my bottom left-hand side of where I'm sitting of my actual drawing. Now, the thing is, there's a couple of different things. I want to get the size right, or the scale, and the proportion for my drawing, and I want to make sure that it's on the correct angle. So a little trick that you can use is to line up your pencil, physically line up your pencil on whatever it is that you're drawing. Now my papers are at the same angle, so they're both parallel to each other. Take that angle, and I'm going to just move my pencil over. This should be the kind of angle that it stays on. Goes from here, slide it over. That's the same angle it should stay on. Now in terms of where to draw it, where to start it, I'm looking at how close to the edge, and I'm looking for where to start it. How close down does it go? This corner, how low down does it come? So from my edge, I'd say it probably comes to about here. So I'm going to start the edge of my crayon here. Now I'm going to double check my angle, line up my pencil, line up my pencil. So this is kind of, I'm just going to draw a guideline for the angle, and I'm going to look and compare. Check it again. It looks like it should be out just a little more, so I'm going to make that adjustment. Okay, so now I'm ready to go. I'm going to start with a nice straight line following the angle that I just made. You can use a ruler if you'd like. And how far do I go? I drew a straight line up from the furthest point. Where does it come? It's more than halfway. So if I come from here to here, more than halfway, it's probably going to end somewhere around here. So I'm drawing lightly so I can always erase it. So I'm going to continue this line down, keep my curve where it was, and I'm going to draw the opposite line of the crayon. Now the main thing is to keep these two lines parallel to one another. I'm coming a little closer so you can see. Because when they start getting thinner or wider, they become looking a little bit wonky. Now my curve that's here is going to be the same curve of the wrapper there, of the wrapper there, and the end of the crayon there. So I have my curve. Here's the curve for my wrapper. Here's the curve for the end of the wrapper. These lines are still staying parallel. The curve of the end of my crayon, and now I'm ready to draw the tip of the crayon, which this one looks a little bit flat, like it's been used, as most of my crayons have been. So now I have the start of my my crayon, sorry. Now the next thing you want to do is draw the shape of the shadow that you see. So what I'm going to do is make sure that I'm paying close attention that this isn't just flat and it goes past the end and where it starts over here. So I'm going to start in here. And I'm drawing lightly again, very lightly. Goes up past, this is a pretty straight line. And then it comes to a point back in. And I'm going to erase my center line. And now I have a crayon. Same idea is going to happen when you do your pencil. So making sure the angle of this, check it. How high up does it start? How low does it come? How close to the edge does it come? Making sure these outside lines are parallel, that these curves all match one another, okay? And then I'm going to help you just kind of get an idea for how to draw something like this, the eraser. So the eraser's here. It's going to start in my bottom quadrant. Again, where does it start? Where does it end? What's the angle? If you drew a line down the center, what does that angle look like? So it kind of comes like that. So I'm going to draw just this top shape first. Check your angles. Even for this line here, I'm going to check my pencil line and try and mimic that angle. This gets rounder at the top. Again, all of my supplies are a little bit more used. Okay, now we need this part that slopes down. It's going to have a change in angle. There's going to be a slight change in angle. And it's a round curve. Then we see this line over here, which is going to be this side. Okay, so now it's starting to look a little 3D. The next thing we need to help is that shadow shape. So it comes up and around and lines up over here. Don't worry about the text yet, we'll get to that later. I think you're ready to start.